All of my feelings are so easily revealed whenever I'm with you. I just cannot forget you. You are on my mind to stay. I'll be kinda lost whenever I'm without you. No, I have no doubt you will always be within my vicinity. Vicinity. Yeah, I'm Pete Philly. Been making music for a couple of years now. Released 2 albums with my partner Perquisite, Mind State and Mystery Repeats as Pete Philly and Perquisite. Released an online project called Open Loops. Then I released a solo record 1. Currently working on a new solo record, which will be I'm very excited about it. And I rap, I sing, I compose, I produce, I act, I do stand-up comedy, I write, and that's kind of what I do. Well, the thing that really got me into music at an early age was Michael Jackson. I was still living in Aruba. I think I was 4 or something, and I don't even remember how, but I knew I needed Thriller. So the marketing was so ill that apparently a 4-year-old knew that that was the record he needed to get. So I got that record, got it from my dad, and I was breakdancing to it, and I went to this like American play school, and we were like, and the kid parties then had like, you would walk in and you'd get this like bandana so you could breakdance. And so that was really it. I think it was Michael Jackson, and then later we moved to the Netherlands, and then Bad came out, still into Michael Jackson. And then hip hop came into my life when I heard Me, Myself and I by De La Soul. So that must have been 88 or 89. That was, and I didn't know it was a George Clinton loop at the time, obviously, but I heard that, I was like, what is this? So you used to have these, in Europe you used to have these compilation albums called Turn Up the Bass. So I would get these Turn Up the Bass CDs, and you'd have like swing beats and hip hop and but like the mainstream stuff on it. But mainstream stuff at the end of the 80s, beginning of the 90s was pretty cool. Well, not all of it, but cool enough for me to buy those CDs anyway. So, and then I don't know, when I was like 11, I remember the Terminator 2 coming out, and the theme song for it was a Guns N' Roses tune called You Must Be Mine, or She Will Be Mine, or something like that. And that really got me into rock music. So then I started listening to a lot of Guns N' Roses, Metallica, Stone Temple Pilots, Pearl Jam, Nirvana, all of that stuff. And that started coinciding with Tribe Called Quest and more De La Soul and Snoop Dogg and Busta Rhymes and Wu-Tang and all of that stuff. And then like, I don't know, Shaheem and House of Pain and Cypress Hill and Dr. Dre and all that stuff. And then from England, then England started really blazing with drum and bass and jungle and shit, so I started listening to Goldie. And then after a while, like around 18, 19, I started getting into jazz, so I was like Miles Davis and then Coltrane, and now it's just anything that's good. But I think that's basically it's the first time I ever really explored my trajectory like that. But that's kind of the music I listen to. So when I started performing, I started performing just as a rapper and an MC. But after a while, I was in a metal band called Motherfed. I was in a drum and bass band called Jagabyte. I was in a like G-Funk, P-Funk hip hop group called Nicotine. I was in a soul band called Zoom. In a funk band called Gotcha. And then all of this in a 2-year, 3-year period. And I really got notoriety fairly quickly. And then somebody asked me to make a couple of solo tunes for this hip hop compilation, and that really started. And everything went really quickly. I was like on the cover of magazines and shit. And then I met Perk, and then we became a duo. And that was only supposed to be this like side project, and it just turned into this whole thing. But actually, the characters that really like really made me excited were people like Busta Rhymes. And Busta Rhymes is because when Busta Rhymes came out, he came out in '95, and he had this thing on this album, The Coming, where he would say, "There's only 5 years left," and it felt so ominous, you know, and it was dark, and there's this producer called Easy Mo B, and we follow each other on Twitter, and every now and then they'll just DM each other and shit. And I'm a huge fan of his. Like the last record Miles Davis ever did was produced by him, called Doo-Wop, and he produced for Pac and for Biggie, and one of the dopest hip hop beats ever, in my opinion, is Everything Remains Raw from Busta Rhymes. So Busta Rhymes, I think Method Man and Busta Rhymes really made me a singer, actually, because their delivery was so, rhythmically it was interesting, but it also had like this, there was a lot of, the vocal tone was really part of it. And actually, more than I ever admitted in interviews, because it never really occurred to me, Speech from Arrested Development. Like, I remember I was 12 or maybe 13, and Lord, I've really been real stressed, and although I am black and proud, and he would do the whole song like that, and because you're young, you don't know, but that was actually kind of groundbreaking, because it was rap, but it was singing, and it had this, almost this gospel vibe to it, but I don't know, and I listened to that Tennessee song from Arrested Development like so much when I was 13. I think it really influenced my rapping as well. But as far as like character or anything, I felt like people like Mos, Kweli, Pharaoh, people like KRS, and but you know, even also like, I mean, I was already matured as an artist by then, but people like Eminem, you know, I like it when an artist is uniquely them. It's hard being an open wound, but I think it's also part of what being a real artist is. I think a lot of the great artists are so sensitive to the world's joy and pain that they are the ones who are able to vocalize it the best. But it usually they usually pay with their own lives somehow, like Tupac, for example, you know? So, yeah.